Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 220. It's getting up there already. I'll just cue the intro and music and do a few checks, and I'll be with you in a minute. So we had leftover notes there. Earl Grey. He's meant to be joining us February for updates, so that'll be good. So who's out there? John is getting better. Robert's getting better. And John's got better since he's been losing weight and stuff. Robert's been on some painkillers, so he's coming right. Aileen Grays, need to pay him a visit and give him a jab in the back like they did with me. Speaking of the devils on the screen at the moment. Going down to the studio. That'd be cool. Hello. Good to be back. Hey, let's have some fun today. No swearing in the side chat. If you don't accidentally let it slip out, which does happen. And no trolling, of course. I need to get rid of that echo because it's annoying. There we go. Is it loud enough is the question. Let's see, I better adjust the mic here. It looks like it's about right. So let's get out of this to the desktop. Hey, who we got on a sec? How's it going? I keep forgetting to type my welcome message lately. It's terrible, isn't it? 2 streams I've done and no welcome message, I don't think. Let me just zoom in, I guess. Is it too zoomed in? Live stream. My head's not in it today. I had a really rough sleep. The household was really noisy today and they kept waking me up. So yeah, we've got various debunks, topics and debunks. And debunks. UFO vids. So yeah, I tried to do a free for all yesterday because Rob was off sick, and I pushed it to evening for USA instead of it being suitable for UK time, and it worked fairly well. No one seemed to come on for at least half the live stream anyway, so I carried on doing some debunks on MUFON and trying to get my head around the new International Space Tracker and satellite tracking software online, and basically relearn it. But yeah, it was a bit of a slow Joe there, but we got there in the end and proved that it was a satellite after all that. So, which is the International Space Station, of course. One big swear word. Yeah, does happen, swearing nowadays. But yeah, a lot of the older people that come here don't like the swearing, the F word especially, so Yeah, I think we're trying to keep it civil, and I don't think the F word is really needed. Unless you're trying to explain a situation where you used it, like I did yesterday, accidentally slipped out. But that happens. That's the only time I use it. If I use it, it normally upsets people in the household, so I don't swear generally. So yeah, where do we start? So we need some likes on the thing to see if the ticker's working. So I just need to minimize that. Does that get sounding alright there, guys? So you can hear me okay? Not distorting, not too low. I know I do sometimes ramble and sometimes mumble if I'm tired, like I am at the moment. So yeah, first up is general chat. Now, let's see. I'm not sure if I can find it on my Twitter, but sounds good. Thanks for that. Tyler, everyone keeps asking about him, so I'll just do a quick update on him. Where is it? I should have bookmarked it. But it's here somewhere. We'll get to it. So he's got a few more offences added to his name since we've last heard. And you can see here there's 5 in that particular, I don't know what you call it, county, is it? They break up state into county and have a jail system. Well, looks like he's got caught in the driver's seat, or maybe in the car, without a license on the 12th of January there. And he's pleaded not guilty to it, so not too sure why he'd plead not guilty. Maybe because he knew he'd have to do jail time. If you plead guilty, then they obviously take you straight away and carry on with the 3 months that they had suspended. So yeah, this guy can't seem to keep out of trouble. It might be, I was reading up on the state laws on DUI, and even if you're in the back of the car, inside a car drunk, in your driveway, you still can be taken to court over it. Because obviously people drive home drunk and then jump over the back just as the cops show up, so they got no way of knowing if he was driving or not. So it kind of makes sense that if you're caught in a car drunk without any other people in the car with you that's in the driver's seat, obviously it looks suspicious, doesn't it? So whether he was sleeping in the car because his wife has chucked him out, because in the new document there it talks about let's see, it talks about a new address. He put out a new video, or a new post on Twitter, I should say. I'm not sure if I got it here. I think I have. Where is it? So I was also the information about his DUI is here. As you can see here, it says AA meeting per week, which means it discounts drugs there, from what I can see anyway. Is there anything there that suggests drugs? Well, booze is a drug, I suppose, but it's probably the drug that kills most people, actually, alcohol, because it gets abused. And then it says, probation, do not violate any other laws. So that means you could go to jail. Take all medication as prescribed for mental health, it says there, so depression maybe. So this is the sort of information you can find out online, and he pleaded guilty there, by the way. He pleaded, original plea was guilty, and in court it was guilty. So he got let off easy because he pleaded guilty, I suppose. The judge gave him benefit of the doubt. But then he made that big video saying he was dragged off to his car and all that. Why would you plead guilty if you knew that you were innocent? And if you got security cameras at your house, right, you should have it all on video. So where is his post? It's here somewhere. So these are the kind of idiots I get attacking me. Lots of Mr. Arthur. There's a few swear words. Fox Monto 44. I assume his age is 44, but he certainly acts like a 20-year-old if that's the case. So you can see here the sort of hate I get for trying to expose the truth. So people can look it up, of course. What I'll show you here. Oh, here we go. What's up, guys? I'm trying not to laugh at all you gullible cult followers and those paying me not to work and feed you BS. So this is my hidden that should be on top of here. The real truth is live. I've been cheating, and my wifey kicked me out and had to get a new computer. So he's in a hotel here, because you can look up the address on that court charge, and I think it shows up to be a hotel room. So yeah, sounds like the wife, maybe that domestic thing is real, and he got kicked out. So apparently he's going to the court system on the 27th of Jan, so we'll find out about the domestic men and all the real details, because people are guessing at the moment. And 10th of February is for the car one. So yeah, he could be looking up to 9 months in jail at least, I'd say. He's got the 3 months suspended and another 6 if he's found guilty of being in the car without the license. So yeah, I think might be a quiet year for us with Tyler. Hooray, lots of people say. Good, audio's good. Tyler died in prison. Who said that? Was that another rumour? Sounds like an Epstein's conspiracy there. Although I think Epstein was murdered. Tyler, I don't think so. Unless he got access to hang himself or something like that, which would never happen. But yeah, if you're abusing your system like that all the time, it's going to take a toll on your heart and all sorts of things, isn't it? So, and kidneys. And also your mental health, really. And he's mixing it with things. So if he's taking opiates with booze and depression pills, it's pretty dangerous. A lot of people die from opiates now, don't they? Was kidding. Alright. Well, there is the rumour going around that he's suicidal and he wants to kill himself and he died in prison or whatever. Died in this hotel. So there's a lot of rumours going around there. So I'm just showing you what's screen prints here. So you could fact check it. Putting the past behind me, ready to move on. So what past are you talking about there? He claimed he had no past, right? New equipment. Why would you need new equipment? It's obviously looks like a wee bit better than my computer actually. That's an MSI there, but it looks like a top of line one where you get the color keys as well. Although mine's working pretty good now. It took a wee while to get there for 6 months mucking around with the drivers and settings. Although it does have an occasional glitch for some reason that pops in. New location. I will be working. Time to turn over the leaf and take back over. So he hasn't actually uploaded anything since then. I haven't checked though. I don't think there was anything new out. So that's the Tyler news. Hopefully that sort of clears it up. So yeah, they're starting to fall together now. I think the House of Cards is gradually falling down. And people are still focusing on his current stuff and not all the old stuff that I was pointing out. So what was the other thing I was going to look at? Was there anything else here on Tyler? So often you'll hear it posted around, but often it comes from me as a source. People read that, go to the link, start posting it around, right? Or by pure chance they post it at the same time as I do, and then they claim to be the first one to actually update the information. But it doesn't matter, whoever gets it out there is good. It's keeping people informed. I don't really care, it's not a bragging rights. As long as people can use my stuff, and as long as they give you some credit, that's good, you know. Research takes time, as you know. We did a thing live yesterday with the International Space Station, trying to prove it, and that just took a wee while to get there, you know. That's how it happens, you know. If you want to involve to be a MUFON investigator, that's what it involves, you know. It involves plenty of time, and you need to have the skills and intelligence and critical thinking to nut out the obvious things, so you're left with an unknown at the end of it. And of course, we got bare information on the MUFON case. They can go back and phone up the person, ask extra details, go there to visit, stand where they were, and actually get daytime photographs and all that sort of stuff, right? I think that's it really on that. So we'll move on. I haven't bothered looking at UFO interests lately, but we'll just have a quick look at his while we're here. I know we've got lots to cover today, but hopefully we'll get through it. Some interesting stuff to talk about, hopefully. So what do we got here? So we're talking about, what is it, drones, is it? String of lights. There's been a lot of stuff about drones across America, where there was something going on. But to me, it looks like there's no actual photographs apart from a few of these ones coming in. I think one ended up being a wind farm, of all things. Someone had taken a photograph and it was all the lights on the wind farm over hills and stuff. So there are different heights. This one I don't know about. First time looking at it. According to Hoax Channel, third phase. Here we go again. The latest video shows Russian Space Force programs. Seriously, those objects are just lights from a crane. Oh yeah, there's the space in between. I suppose if you go to that location, there might be a crane there on Google Earth, even on Street View, you never know. So yeah, if it's moving, normally we can tell if it's a crane, like the boom arm will move around. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there you go. 100% crane, you don't need to look at that. It looks like it's in China or somewhere, is it? So what else we got here? Picture of Starlink satellites. Alright, so let's have a look at that one. I haven't seen that before. So that's the new satellites going up. So that could be what's being reported as drones, is it? Maybe reflections of these new satellites. So what's people saying here? SpaceX, there you go. Looks very similar. So it looks like someone's answered them. Looks pretty high up there for a plane, doesn't it? You can see the curvature of it going around the Earth there even. So yeah, apparently a lot of people are upset with SpaceX. Elon Musk, he's putting up thousands of these little satellites that's going to ruin the star view of people that are studying the stars. Even commercial ones, you know, the big satellite, big dish ones. and radio signals could bounce off it and that sort of stuff. I think it's meant to be like for internet, isn't it? Starlink. Let's see, does it tell us? Starlink. Satellites moving across the sky. Look at all of them. That's just crazy, isn't it? I was talking about that yesterday, where they had what they call the satellite highway, which is where most of them are concentrated in the band across the middle of the planet. It's just so dense with satellites, 4,000 mostly. It's just crazy. They're at all different altitudes too. Maybe we can look up Starlink satellites, what they're for. And what else we got here? Another Chinese thing. Video asking for news about the alien on the moon. Alright, so he's talking about the CGI that even security team put up there, or something on the moon. What else we got? Brazil. Several lights in the sky. 2020. I think those are skydivers. Okay. Well, we know skydivers have a certain signature, don't they? They sort of expand and break up. So let's have a look. Oh yeah. Don't know if it's skydivers though, but it could be with them with flashy things on their jump chutes. Or it could be drones. Hey, that's really good filming, mate. You get it on course. Oh dear. Filmed the wrong way again. Keep telling people not to film in portraits. So is that skydivers coming down here? Or is it drones? So that's the sort of thing you need to look up for more information. So what's this about the Navy? I think there's a lot of talk on Black Vault at the moment. US Navy has secret video of UFO encounter. Here is a letter in response to FOIA submitted by Christian Lambright to the US Navy office relating to the Nimitz. Original story from the blog. I think Black Vault's covered that. Weren't they doing a backtrack on the information they're providing or something like that? Haven't really got into it at all. Sort of got bored with the To the Stars myself and the Nimitz case. It sort of got messy and I don't know, it seems to be going around in circles. Unless they can bring out that new footage, which that was meant to happen last year. Remember he promised that MUFON presentation he did, that they got something even better that's coming out. Well, it never happened, did it? So it's a boy that cries wolf. So if they don't have something come out this year, I think people are just gonna forget about it all. So yeah, go and check out his page there. Read those letters, I guess. I don't want to spend too much time on it, covering the same things other people do, really. So yeah, I better catch up on the side comments here. 2 likes, thanks for that, guys. That really helps. I thought it was 3 likes before. So unsubbed today. Suicidal people don't tell you, they just do it. Yeah, that's right. Apparently he's sent private messages to alien scientists saying he's suicidal and that they'll be happy that he's gone. And all that sort of stuff. Usual, what I call mind control, mind tricks on people, and to get his army to attack you and all that sort of stuff. Doesn't matter that he hoaxed people for years and made over $1 million, and he doesn't come clean on it. You know, feel sorry for me. Well, he's had a hard life. You know, he's got a house paid off. He's got his wife that bought him fancy watches, and they went away on 5-star hotel vacations. Yeah, so it's hard not to feel sorry for him, but you know, last time I had a vacation, I've not been out this house for since 2002. That's how long I've had my vacation. In fact, because I'm on sickness help, I'm not allowed to leave the city without notifying the government that I'm leaving the city. And I can't even go overseas. If I go overseas, I lose my funding. So even if I went overseas looking for a job or a new life, they cut the money off. So yeah, so really, for someone like me to progress on, to be able to go to America and do UFO studies, I would have to get off their system, which is basically like being on parole. It's probably, you're treated probably worse than a criminal, basically, if you're out of work or sick. It's really, it might be free, and you get some money to live on, but it's bare minimum. It's bare bones. It's like 120 US a week I have to live on. So I'm not sure if you guys could live on that over where you live, but New Zealand, at least it's possible as long as you live with other people. So yeah, feel sorry for Tyler. He's got lots of money. Yeah, right. And you get those kids on YouTube that make nonsense videos, and you wonder why they're millionaires from it. You think, well, who the hell would be watching that? But I suppose it's horses for courses, but not. Yeah, it's like me watching PewDiePie or whatever his name is, and I can't stand him. 10 minutes is maximum, so I don't get what people see in it. So yeah, I think it's a mental problem. Me, I like documentary science. I like facts. I like stuff that sort of answers the big questions, and not just entertainment. So yeah, these are some of the amazing stuff that we've got on snowflakes, and it looks like it's almost constructed. I'll bring it up as good as I can so you can have a look. So it kind of looks almost like it's man-made, doesn't it? But this is nature. But the question is it pure water? If it's from the sky, we don't know what's in the sky. We've got plastics everywhere. But you can see here, it almost looks like it's stamped out, right? So you're seeing, obviously, millions of atoms still. We're not seeing atom layer. We're seeing like a... what do you say, compound or a matrix of atoms that form, and what they do is they're bouncing off electron off the surface, and it's being computerized, and it's being colorized, maybe for the different levels by the looks of it, level 1, level 2 and level 3 behind here. So the next one's a bit more interesting. They said this is a snowflake on the document, and I thought, nah, I don't think so. I'm going to research that. To me, it looks like a bolt. I was wondering if it's like a piece of plastic. It's mixed in with water. But yeah, I'll go over that in a minute. But you can see here, it's definitely got these strengthening bits added to it and inserts, and if nature is that clever, and a lot of people say it's designed by God, that proves it's designed by God. Because look, here it's got an insert here, it almost looks like it's got some bolts here, you know what I mean? And it's got all that scabby outside bit here, looks like sprayed on plasterboard or whatever. But it's meant to be all water. Maybe that's why water is the magic stuff for life. Here's another one. Again, looks like it's been sort of corroded a wee bit, that one. All melted. Looks like rust almost, doesn't it? So that snowflake's crushed onto a slide there, I guess. But yeah, you can see these snowflakes form these strange flat panels that almost look like they've been stamped out. It's amazing. And 30 times zoom, is it? I don't think that's 30 times zoom. That would be we're talking about nanometers, isn't it? 1 nanometer there. 1 meter, 1 meter. It doesn't say nanometer. 1 meter, millimeter times 30 is what they're saying. I'm not sure how you read that. So here's another one. That one looks like it's got 2 whole snowflakes lying over top of each other. Almost looks like a space station, doesn't it? And of course you could have bacteria and all that living on top of that. So it's like a city. There'd be bacteria and little things walking around. So there's life outside our natural vision. Another snowflake, and don't know what that is. Industrial pollution. It kind of looks like here. Strange thing here. Another one. Almost looks like flowers. Fractal designs, right? Balancing of energies and strength structures. We're talking about crystals, so yeah, it does look like crystals, right? How crystals would grow. Metal's a crystal as well. So we'll just keep on going here. I think that's it. I'll post a link to it so you can have a look yourself. But that bolt one got me, so I had to do a bit of research on that. Snowflakes. And we're not talking about Tyler fans here, snowflakes. We're actually talking about the real ones. Nanny state snowflakes. Suicidal people might have read that one. What else we got? Yeah, it's best not to joke on the side about serious stuff like that. Google sees, frowns on it, you see. But yeah, I suppose you're allowed to talk about rumours and squash them, you know. Wait till the facts come out in end of January, February. So yeah, that was meant to be there. Where's the next one? I'm missing one. Where is it gone? Let me see if I can find it. Is it here? Here we go. That one should have been up here. Okay, so turns out that bolt one that was we're looking at is called rime ice. Is that how you say that? I'll just read it out here.
Rime ice forms when supercooled water liquid droplets freeze onto surfaces. Meteorologists distinguish between 3 basic types of ice forming on vertical and horizontal surfaces by deposition of supercooled water droplets. There are also intermediate formations. Soft rime is less dense than hard rime and is milky and crystalline, like sugar. Soft rime appears similar to hoarfrost. Hard rime is somewhat less milky.
Okay, so apparently the bolt is this zoomed right in on electron microscope, and with 2 snowflakes attaching to the ends of it. So here we go. Here's the picture of it. Rime ice on both ends of a capped column snowflake. So snowflake still got attached to it. So what's these bits on the end here though? Capped column. So is it hollow? Is what they're saying there? I don't know. Negative 40 Celsius. That's pretty cold. But why has it got negative 40 Fahrenheit there in brackets? That should be a lot less than that, shouldn't it? I think that might be a typo there. Under sun atmospheric conditions, forming and descending snow crystals may encounter and pass through atmospheric supercooled cloud droplets. These droplets, which have a diameter of 10 micrometers, can exist in an unfrozen state down to -40°C. Contact between the snow crystal and the supercooled droplets results in freezing of the liquid droplets into the surface of the crystals. This process, crystal growth, is known as accretion. Crystals that exhibit frozen droplets on their surfaces are referred to as a rim job. When the process continues, so the time shape of the original snow crystal is no longer identified. Okay, so amazing nature, eh? And you wonder why, when you film through inversion layers in the atmosphere, especially the moon, why it all shimmers. And you got all this microscopic stuff in the atmosphere, right? Especially when you got super cooled layers. And that's why you get those little ring structures that look like cells, where it's sort of flashing. It could be like a lead balloon or a planet far away, or a star where it sort of blinks different colours. That forms these little ring patterns that look with a little dimple in between. It looks like a blood cell. Let's see, blood cell, if you know what I mean, on camera. So all this stuff is related, of course, to the whole thing of filming UFOs and understanding what you're seeing on cameras and all that, you know. Is the audio still working alright? Seems a wee bit quiet on the side chat. Okay, so yeah, here's some blood cells. So, you know, we were looking at some of this yesterday with Bill's image, and you can see here you film these ring patterns with a dimple thing, which looks very similar to what he was showing on his video there. So yeah, amazing, really, nature. We're not one. We are many. If you think about it, how whole body works in synchronicity with organic life, all inside us and all on outside of us. You got bacteria. You got bad and good bacteria. The good bacteria helps us digest food. Yeah, it's a complex system, and anything can go wrong is when you get sick, right? You get sick, vomit, diarrhea, that sort of stuff, you know, when it gets unbalanced. You get poisoned, of course, breaks down the systems working on you, and then you die. See, a lot of people think that food poisoning is from the bacteria, and it's not. It's actually from their waste product. So if you leave a bowl of rice out, right, or put it in the fridge or whatever, bacteria will keep on growing on it. But they also create these byproducts, which are really toxic to our system. So you didn't eat that bowl of rice. Apparently it's meant to be, day-old rice is meant to be really bad for you. If you eat too much of it that's been left for too long, it can make you very sick, because the toxins on there are particularly nasty. So yeah, you find out all this stuff by doing science, obviously, and a lot of reading and stuff. So yeah, a lot of people ask how long can you leave a cooked chicken in the fridge before it's going to make you sick. I think it's like 10 days or something like that. It was quite a long time for cooked chicken. Raw chicken, not so good. I think it's only a few days, so you should cook it up. So yeah, even in the fridge it still goes off, as you know. You put vegetables in there. Celery's probably the worst one. Goes all limp. I find if you stick it in a glass of water in the fridge, it seems to last a bit longer. But anyway, get sidetracked. So what else we got here? Soft rime. I was saying rim. There we go. So I've not actually seen that myself, and we don't get much snow here. We get it like once a year if we're lucky. unless you go up into the Alps and like skiing, which I don't. I don't like skiing. Never got to grips with skiing. They can keep it. Rollerblades, yes, no problem with them, but skiing was always on your butt. So we'll look at this alien silly thing again. So yeah, night vision of alien arm, head and hand debunk. Close as possible I could find the right leaves that would cause the effect. So I talked about it, I think it was leaves, so I wasted 2 hours of my life on it. So it's still being promoted around. And where was the enhancement on that one? So I'll just make it big screen here. Hey Shelley, you just joined us. You're a bit behind. You missed out all the snowflake stuff, I think. You missed out on all the cool bits. So yeah, this is an enhancement I did on the original photograph. And it's kind of strange. It sort of has this edging around it here. It has like 3 layers of different colours overlaid, which kind of is suspect how that would happen, but it could be just how the software is interpreting the infrared. So it kind of looks like a real image, but here you can see straight away it kind of looks like a branch coming up from something over here. That kind of looks like a trunk of something coming up here. Maybe that's part of the branch coming down on that. That kind of looks like a leaf here with the 3 parts of the leaf looking like fingers, and it's going around this way, so it looks like a big leafy thing. It's got a stalk coming down here, and you got a lot of stalks here. It looks like some sort of shrub. So what is this here? So what's interesting here is we can see a face here which looks more like a paranormal face peering through. So on a better quality image that probably looks a wee bit more better than what I've got here, because I did a screen snapshot rather than the original. But you can see it looks like it's got eyes, nose, mouth. Kind of looks like a head there, almost like a demon head sticking through the bushes. Because the guy, didn't he say the guy was being harassed by creatures? Could easily be demonic, paranormal. But when you zoom into this one up here, it looks less and less like a solid face. Doesn't look quite right. So it looks like it's something coming around here. And looks like something going around. And something coming along here. And there looks like a leaf that's sort of curled around. But I'll go over it in a minute. What I think it may be pareidolia. Of course, we can't rule out that it's been CGI'd, or photoshopped, I mean, computer graphic interface. So, next image. Zoomed and enhanced. Okay, so does it look like it's going to be a solid face? So it's looking less likely a face now. So, yeah, it kind of looks like bits and pieces of plant material now. As people are saying that's the eyes here, but it doesn't look like it's symmetrical. See, it looks like the eye pupils over that way, like he might be gecko. A dark eye here, a reflection you could say. But it doesn't look symmetrical. It looks like a real deformed alien. The nose here looks really strange, doesn't it? And the mouth is not really a mouth now. It looks like it's got sticky bits coming down here. Looking less likely a face now. If we go next. this is what I'm talking about, what I think it is. It looks like it's like one of these tropical palm trees in the garden. That has these little holes in it, and it has these fingers that come down, so it looks like one of these. It's not the quite image I wanted, but you can see here what I'm trying to say is that each of these leaves separating on the side will look like fingers, and it goes up here. And this one here with the holes could explain why there's two different shades of colour happening on the night vision here, and it kind of fits the shape of the head too. You can see here the head behind almost fits this particular leaf example that I got overlaid. You can see where the eye is here, and the other eye over here, and the nose is like the stem coming down, which makes sense if it's sort of like flexed in the middle here. That looks like a nose, and little bits down the bottom here forms the mouth. So that's my best thing I could do to give a possible explanation for it. This is why we need a day snapshot that would prove it beyond doubt. And here's another leaf I found, which is very similar with holes again, saying that it's something like this, where you get lots of these things coming up here from the bush, and that there could be something else coming up, like a palm tree maybe, or a little one of those miniature palm trees, and that might be one of these leaves behind that's growing up around the palm tree here. But I'm only guessing, because as you can see it's all one image. You can see here obviously behind it looks like trees, so that kind of looks like it could be one of those rough barks you get on a palm tree here, doesn't it? Very close up to the camera here. So yeah, I think I've done a lot more work here on this in 2 hours than all those other channels that keep blabbing that looks like an alien, right? And me, I just followed the logic of it all. Yeah, it's just that the zoom image there was clear enough for me to suggest that it doesn't look like a solid face popping through the bushes. But you'll have people promoting it as an alien on less skilled UFO channels out there. So yeah, what's people thinking so far? Very quiet on the side. You're gonna sleep. Probably need to get a drink. So what do you think of that one, Shirley? Do you think I'm on the right path here? That I might have the right type of plant that we're looking at? I know people would like to see an alien picture. I think the best one I've got is alien grey in UFO footage. If we go back to it here, I'll post a link to the images on my Twitter account if you want to have a look directly on your computer screens yourself. You can. It doesn't allow you to download them, unfortunately, but you can open it up and then right click and save image. Do it that way. So alien grey, I got it on my home page. Go to the home tab. So it's currently live. Yep, it's right here. The best and must-watch UFO episodes. Now this, to me, you can look at my enhancements here. You can see the whole thing is all solid. That has textures like light reflecting off the cheeks here and off the top of his head, and you can see actually bumps on the skull. Now this is a way better, more believable image and full video as well than a single snapshot with a night vision low quality 240p camera. It's probably what it is. As you can see, it was really pixelated. And this was only taken from a 480p as well, and it was only like 50 pixels by 50 pixels. But yeah, it's amazing what you can bring out by zooming in, digitally zooming and throwing it through filters to bring out the details with contrast and stuff like that. Or also deforming it because he was moving and it had interlace and it would stretch the image. So I had to bring it back into shape as well. Some frames that because he didn't focus on it, which I thought was very strange. If you're going to fake UFO footage, why would you not focus on the cockpit? He simply zoomed in and then panned away. It didn't make any sense. So it kind of gives more credibility that he didn't fake it. Or he's a very clever hoaxer to make it. But the thing is, it's a bit shame that he didn't have another camera to film him filming it, you know. Stuff that could back up his claim. At least another camera angle off the same scene where it's going down. Yeah. So what have we got? Alright. Wise replied to me there. So yeah, this is how we get notifications of people posting to the videos. Is up this icon here on the page. Where are we going to now? So I think we're done with the alien one, hopefully. I think it's just pareidolia in this case, where I think the other one I looked up years ago might be the real deal. Or a really good hoax using latex masks. Seems a lot of effort. So where to next? Okay, so we're talking about energy crystals. You may have heard about them being sold at various UFO functions, like Contact in the Desert. And this is one of the more interesting ones that are being used. And let's see if there's any truth in it. Whether it has magical properties, I don't know, but it has some scientific properties.
Tourmaline.
So he reckons it said Tourmaline. Tourmaline. I would have said Ein. Tourmaline. I don't know. So yeah, it kind of looks like crystals are always nice. A bit like the snowflakes we were looking at. I think we've got crystals here, black ones. Which are meant to be the ones that most people promote as the high energy ones. Give off good energy. Look at that one here, that was pretty cool. You can see why people would collect them, but whether to be health properties, I don't know. So that's a chunk of quartz rock here, with the crystals growing out of it. Lithium, tourmaline, beatty. They've got crazy names, haven't they? What's one of these pigmatic materials? Sweden, in which the new alkali element lithium was determined in 1880. So there's a bit of science to it all, you see. So they're talking about here lithium tourmaline were extensively chemically analysed in 1850. Described fluorine and tourmaline for the first time. 1870 proved that all varieties of tourmaline contained chemical bond water. So it goes on a bit here. All the chemicals, atoms in it. Lithium, sodium. What's that one? Hydrogen, aluminium. B. What's B? Boron, silicon oxide. Oh, look at that! All these different crystal structures using it. That one's got iron in it, aluminium, magnesium, and what else we got? Look how lovely it looks, different colours. So they'll be selling these at the UFO things, like a bracelet you wear or whatever, where it gives off good energy. Magnesium treatments. Now look at that one, multicolour, bicolour. Yes, very interesting stuff. So where does it lead into the energy side of it? So we'll get onto that now. I'll just post that and close that. Tourmaline. Now you may have heard that it's been used in bracelets and self-heating bandages. So we'll just get onto that now. So I found a web page here on the healing benefits of this particular crystal. Looks like it might be a bit too big. Okay. So understanding about tourmaline. Negative ions are not stuffed in tourmaline. So a lot of people say it's stuffed with ions. It's often said that tourmaline has electricity and generates negative ions, but electricity is not stuffed in it. Tourmaline generates negative ions when external pressure is applied to it. It's possible that this is due to the piezoelectric effect, but no formula theory has been established yet. So what they're saying is if you put pressure onto the crystals, it creates a wee bit of stress on the structure inside the material, and it generates a electric effect. Obviously it changes the electrons inside the shell bonds of the atoms. So if we open up what this terminology means here, where is it? It opens up a page to itself. Okay, so obviously there's two ones here. I'll just get them read out. So it's actually quite a good site. It actually has some scientific stuff to it to get around the myth of the energy side of it.
Tourmaline is electronically charged when pressure is applied to it or when temperatures change. Piezoelectric effect. Tourmaline is electronically charged when pressure is applied to it. Pierre Curie and his older brother Jacques discovered this phenomenon in 1880, and later the theory formulas were established. It seems that the phenomenon itself was discovered before 1880. Pyroelectric effect. Tourmaline is electronically charged when temperatures change. This phenomenon was already known in the 18th century. The formulas were established by Riech in 1885. These effects are due to tourmaline's distorted crystallographic structure.
Okay, so this one a bit here about the pressure. But I want to get a Wikipedia or something to give us more information about those effects.
Tourmaline is not charged unless external force is applied or temperatures change. As stated above, tourmaline is electronically charged when external force is applied to it or temperatures change. Tourmaline is electronically activated if you clamp it in a vise or with pliers. Tourmaline generates a very small amount of electricity when not in motion because external force such as atmospheric pressures and air friction are applied to its surface. However, the electricity is electronically cancelled out by tiny particles floating in the air such as ions aerosols. This is why almost no electricity can be detected when tourmaline is not in motion.
So one thing there it hasn't said is that when it is squeezed, it actually gives off far infrared, which is UV, low grade UV light. And if you get one of these neck things, which I did with the crystals embedded into the surface of it, I'm not sure how they do that, but when you put it on your neck, it gradually gets hot, gives off self-heating, and if you wet it, it seems to heat up even more, maybe because the energy is going into the water droplets, so it's a bit like a microwave, gradually heating up the layer of moisture that's in the moisture in the cells of the neck. To me, it seems it seemed to be burning the skin rather than actually heating, though. It's like when you go out in the sun or the UV light and you get burnt, and you got that sort of really horrible sunburned feeling. I suppose everybody had that at some stage, knows what I'm talking about. When you go super red and you've been in Australia, say, it really is painful because you're basically killing your off cells, right? Your cells are overwhelmed with death because they've been cooked like in the microwave. So let's have a look at more on this one here. Let's see if we can find out more technical thing on it. I'm not sure if you guys are interested in this or a wee bit too scientific, but I think this all relates to the UFO stuff in a way, so it's well worth understanding it all, because I talked about quartz crystals, and obviously you can see here this sort of stuff is also embedded in quartz crystals, and it might be where it affects our memories, or affects what we see, or attracts things, changes the environment. Maybe at a interdimensional level even. So his ability to certain materials to generate an electric charge in response to applied mechanical stress. The word piezoelectric is derived from the Greek peace sign, which means to squeeze. There you go. Squeeze electric. And what was the other one? I haven't got the chat thing on the side, so I can't see if you keep eye on it. So this other one, pyro, sounds like fireworks, doesn't it? So obviously pyro means heat. Pyroelectricity is property of certain crystals which are naturally electrically polarized and as a result contain large electric fields. So what's that one say there? Determines the ability to produce certain current from IR radiation. So that must be the IR radiation that the crystals give off too from heat. So as it heats up, it radiates. So it's a double thing. You squeeze the crystals, generates electricity, releases energy, which is heat. And the heat changes the crystal and it goes into this other form of pyroelectric where it gives off low grade infrared radiation. So I guess that's how that's working. So yeah, interesting, complicated. So where did we get to? Negative ions. So they've got it on a meter here. Electricity does not flow through electronic stone. So they've got a big chunk of black stuff here. Well, that looks like white powder here. What's that one say? Powder mixed with cosmetic to use as a material in many industries. Okay, why would you mix it with cosmetics? Kind of strange. Is not a panacea. What's that mean, guys?
Panacea.
Panacea. So let's look it up. What's that mean? Is it like a magic for everything? A solution or remedy for all difficulties and disease. There you go, magic bullet. So I was almost right. Some websites say, so let's have a read of this claim here. Don't want to spend too long on this though.
Some websites say Tourmaline is good for health or Tourmaline cures diabetes, but this is not applicable to everyone. Time frames for treatment also depend on individuals. Tourmaline can alleviate symptoms of atopic dermatitis, eczema, within a matter of days, while it may take several months before blood glucose levels start to fall. Some give up Tourmaline therapy because it does not provide significant improvements quickly. Tourmaline is not a panacea, and you have to be patient until symptoms are alleviated. While there are many reports about Tourmaline effects, it is very important to understand this before you start Tourmaline therapy.
Okay, so some people got chunks of rock that they throw in bath water, and because it gives off, because of the heat of the water, obviously it's going to give off far infrared radiation, ultraviolet. It's called FIR, and I did an episode on far and near infrared cameras. If you've not watched that episode, I made a little clip from a live I did. I made it into a 10-minute episode. So on my channel, go and watch what near and far infrared means. But there's a little chart on it. Here we go, hit this one here. And it's just at different ends of the visual spectrum. Near infrared is like heat energy, and far infrared is like UV energy. It's more energetic and it tends to burn, while the low end of infrared tends to heat slowly and not burn unless you overdo it. Obviously, it doesn't penetrate as deep as well into cells. But how they use it on cameras is different. You've heard of thermal camera, and you've also heard about night vision. So I was trying to explain here what's the difference between thermal and night vision. So if you're not sure and you missed that live I did, I cut out a little segment here that's 25 minutes, and it also contains Vern talking about his sighting of UFO using infrared. But anyway, go and have a listen if you're not seen it. All tourmaline stones are not the same. So as we've seen on that chart, they've got various chemicals, elements in it, changes the colour, and some of them have less probably electro properties than others because of the mixture. So let's see what they say here.
Mineralogically, all tourmaline stones are categorized into the same group. However, tourmaline's ability to generate negative ions varies depending on its physical structure, hardness, impurity level, and from where it is mined. We suggest you should make sure your tourmaline stone generates a lot of negative ions before you start your therapy. Otherwise, you will feel no effect.
So how can you check to see if it's got ions? You can get some meters that can measure how much is being released from like a negative ion generator that you can buy. You got these little things that will charge up and flash, and the time it takes to charge up and flash gives you an indication how much ions are being given off. But there are probably other electronic meters that do it as well, rather than solid state ones that I'm talking about, where it's sort of got two contacts on it and you put it close to the emitter and it gradually charges up a capacitor, lights up a LED, and the time it takes is obviously how much it's given off, right? Longer time to charge means less ions. So there's some cosmetic cream, obviously with that powder stuff in it, but I'm not sure what it does. Obviously they think it energizes the skin, probably. A lot of fake claims there, even though it's got some facts behind it here. Whether the health facts is true is another thing. And what have we got here? Health minerals, the health benefits of blah blah blah. Mother Nature. What's this damn thing popping down here? Can we get rid of that? Let's see if we can get rid of that. Got rid of one of them. Was that got rid of it? Yeah, that's better. So yeah, it looks kind of nice. Rose crystal type colour there, that one. I consider Mother Nature to be God's influence over the nature balance of our planet. So this is written not too long ago, last year. I might need to scale it down a bit. There we go. So the lumping and Big Bang here, when triggered the cosmic egg. Started the Big Bang explosion. So you know what I feel about the Big Bang theory. Did God place healing minerals on Earth for mankind? Okay. A dozen amazing facts about what allows life to thrive on our planet. Earth is in the Goldilocks zone, distance from the sun where water can exist in liquid states. I thought it was a bit more than that though. It's also the amount of heat, energy is enough to maintain life, right? So all our food and stuff is all related to the sun. The sun is really our god. The sun's gone, we all die. So the sun's given off all this radiation, which is then absorbed into plant life, and animals eat plant life. So it all comes from the sun, and it goes around. Energy is recycled and converted. Earth has unique electromagnetic forces. The Van Allen belt protects us against deadly cosmic radiation. The Earth itself gives off Sherman resonance, which we talked about a few lives back now, what it actually meant. I'm pretty sure I did. Which is theorized as living things need to thrive. So there's a 8 Hz background resonance frequency that if we don't have it, we get sick, is what a lot of people are saying. And they were talking about space stations, whether you'd have to generate this resonant frequency, which the body detects, but you don't actually hear it and all that sort of business. Anything under 20 Hz you don't hear anyway, to keep healthy, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, are we part of a living machine? The sunlight that hits the Earth provides the energy, which I'm talking about, produces life. The angle that the Earth is tilted is 23.5 degrees, which allows for the seasons to change and polar ice caps to be there. So the Earth's continents won't be flooded. I'm not too sure on that last bit there, but I'm not sure if you need ice caps, but obviously if it's spinning on the right angle, obviously might be a key factor why Earth is special. There might be other planets out there that don't have this cycle going on, where life can't actually exist very well, not on the surface anyway. It might be underground, because they keep saying that there might be life on Mars now, but it might be buried, right? Let's see what else we got here. There's enough surface water in the oceans and seas to all connect with each other. So again, that's not really important, is it? The moon stabilizes the wobble of the Earth and causes the tides. Well, it's actually gravity locked with the Earth's spin, so the moon is actually spinning, even though we only see one side of it. It's always spinning in synchronicity with the Earth. Again, that might be something special there. People said it was artificial moon, but it might be just the way it happened, right? They reckon it was like a meteorite impact Earth, and it broke off a chunk and went into orbit. and it formed the moon, and then other debris impacted on it and created the shape that we see today. And of course gravity pulls it all into one big globe. Take it easy. Cool. How's it going? Good for you to join us there. Not too sure how your name is said. Dojo. Is it? Dojo. Whatever that means. Thanks for your help in the video. No problem. Oh, right. You weren't Bill, though, were you? I thought you were Bill. Bill was something paranormal. Drone. Dover Paranormal. He was on yesterday. Talked about his ghost hunting and some pictures he had to look at. What else we got here? 24-hour day. Although that's changed, apparently. We've lost some time there when China built that big dam. Poured billions of tons of concrete to make this super massive hydro dam. Apparently it's enough to change the tilt of the Earth a wee bit and slow it down. Although it's only minor, man does have an impact. You know, when you talk about large scale development like that, someone said, oh, how do we correct that? So you'd have to build a big huge structure, concrete structure in the Amazon forest to counteract what China was doing with all the building it's doing. That's kind of a scary thought. The probability of DNA evolving is nearly impossible. Cambridge University astrophysics compared the likelihood of living cell rising through evolution, tornado wiping through a junkyard. So does that mean he's a creation theorist there? I'm not too sure. I think evolution always is happening. Maybe in the future we won't have hair on the head or whatever, or on our legs because we have clothing. Because hair was originally like other animals to keep themselves warm. So if you're wearing clothing to help you keep warm, over the years, obviously, we're starting to lose more and more hair. Although some people do have a lot of body hair, generally, many of us don't have crazy amounts of hair, especially on top of their heads nowadays. A lot of bald men out there. And the reason why you can know evolution works is virus evolve, right? They keep changing, they keep outpacing our antibiotics. So evolution is a real thing because you can see it real time with viruses and bacteria evolving. Everything in nature is recycled. Yep, that makes sense. Dr. Weston Price travelled the world studying nutrition of primitive cultures. Book detailed series of nutritional studies he performed across these diverse cultures between vitamin and mineral. Well, obviously, what you eat is what you are, right? So if you eat fast food all the time, you're going to be pretty sick. If you drink too much water, you get sick as well. You know how people say stay hydrated, but people keep sipping on the water when they go to the gym. And you've heard about people collapsing because they've got too much water on the brain because they've been drinking too much. Right, so you can overdo it. So you can get this like a head swelling, headache from overdoing things like that, from drinking too much water. Did all of this happen by coincidence? So this one sounds like he's more a believer in God. But me, I think the universe is God. The sun is our one where all life comes from, you know. All the heavy elements come from deep within the sun. Maybe it explodes occasionally and ejects stuff into the space that forms planets. Who knows? Maybe the suns never explode, never collapse. Maybe there's different suns out there. They're assuming there's a sun that has a life cycle. It might be all totally wrong, of course. Until we get out into space and actually can go and visit all these places. Oh, sounds like we've got an ice cream machine outside. I'm not sure if you heard that. I wonder what it was. What's causing healing? I was taught many years ago that no doctor ever cured a patient, and the only thing a doctor has ever cured is a ham. Some patients actually are cured in spite of their doctors. Well, yes, years ago I got really sick. I lost a lot of weight. I was losing a crazy amount of weight, and I could hardly eat. And I got onto herbal stuff, started studying herbal, and I wrote a book, which didn't sell very well. But, yeah, the products I tested, and sure enough, they worked for me. But obviously, this doesn't work for everybody. So, yeah, this is definitely the herbal treatments is where the original medicines all come from, right? So natural cures like honey, bark of tree, and all that sort of stuff, where you have all these chemicals that nature makes. So yeah, I'm not too sure where it's going to talk about the crystal, so here we go. So let's read out the chunk here and see what she's got to say. I think it's a she. But yeah, I know a few of us out there that are sick at the moment, Shelley and all that, might be interested.
Tourmaline, the superstar mineral. Tourmaline is a semi-precious mineral. The word tourmaline comes from northern India and means mixed colored stones. Because tourmaline is found in so many different colors, they were often confused with other types of gems. Tourmaline is not a single mineral, but a group of minerals with several crystal patterns. Tourmaline is among the most intricate of all minerals, containing many elements, including, but are not limited to, aluminum, boron, silicon, chromium, oxygen, hydrogen, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, iron and lithium. These elements are bonded to other elements and are not free to enter into the human body. Each tiny tourmaline crystal has a north and a south pole and generates a tiny electromagnetic field. Humans generally can't perceive this energy, but animals seem to be able to, since many animals migrate using the Earth's electromagnetic field. They have a built-in GPS. The health benefits of tourmaline have been well documented for thousands of years. Tourmaline has been used for various treatments by many cultures all over the world. Tourmaline helps to promote health and well-being by putting our cells into a high energy efficiency and highly balanced mode, by stimulating our mitochondria in our cells to burn fuel more efficiently. The mitochondria are known as the powerhouse of the cell. When the mitochondria produce more energy, cells can use that extra energy to heal.
So I think there's a wee bit of pseudoness there at the end there, but the front of it was correct. So how's it going to inject energy into the cells, right? It's a crystal. Even if you consume it, it goes through the system and out the other end. So yeah, they're probably talking about bracelets here. It talks about a patch up the top here, so it's on a patch. So is it a patch that you press onto yourself here, I guess? So they're trying to sell a product here, but also give information that you can verify. Let's see, I think that's probably all I could really talk about this one. Energy, thermal conversion, negative ions, which were covered already. So, but it's talking about infrared here, far infrared, which is important. The energy conversion of the body heat into far infrared energy. This occurs on the surface of the tourmaline. The smaller the particle size, the greater the amount of far infrared is produced. So that's how those self-healing pads that you wrap around your wrist or whatever, neck, back, work. You don't need to plug it in to heat it. Although I think the heat and cold packs for the neck, where you can put it in the fridge, in a freezer, and also the microwave, probably is a better idea, really. So, talking about negative ions here, which I've sworn by it for years, and might be the reason why I have it in the bedroom, why I may have it creates maybe a portal to allow them to come in. Whoever they are is the question. But yeah, I find that negative ions do, if you get a cut on your finger or something, that does heal up pretty quick. So yeah, definitely there is some health benefits with the ions in the air. And clean up the air if you're a smoker, of course, but watch out for ozone. Ozone is a side effect for making the ions. It creates ozone, which is harmful if you breathe it in. It sort of damages your lungs. So yeah, so you want a device that creates ions but has very low ozone output. But ozone's good for getting rid of bad odors in the house. We've got a room that's got rise and damp in it, and I put one of these negative ion generators in the room, and it gets rid of the smell. It really does work. Ozone is definitely, it's like a oxide that you put into washing to get rid of stains. It's like ozone is like the same for air. It sort of attaches to carbon and other nasty chemicals that are floating around in the air, and changes it into another byproduct, right? And it falls down to the ground where you suck it up in the vacuum cleaner or whatever. So yeah, we've talked about all that. So yeah, I will post the link there to that site anyway. I think it's got links on links here. I should have really copied the other one, but anyway. I closed it down. I didn't think I pasted it, did I? It doesn't really matter. You can do your own research on it, and now you know about it. So I'm not sure how many people out there actually knew about that. There's a lot of stuff that I come across and I tell people and they've never heard it before, or they didn't know about it. So on to the next one, which is hydrogels. It's a new piece of information that's come to light this week, or month, I say, Australia, which involves 3D printing, and it can print out ligaments that you can put inside kneecaps and hip replacements, and it's like self-healing stuff. So I'm not sure if we can play that clip or not. Is it YouTube or what?
Well, it's a tiny...
So yeah, I'm not too sure if we can play that or not. Looks like it's on a news channel. Should be alright, shouldn't it?
piece of material that can heal itself like the human body and hold 1,000 times its own weight. Scientists believe the Australian invention could mimic the function of muscle to revolutionise procedures such as knee and hip replacements.
So there you go. So they've got this little butterfly here made from hydrogel, and they hang a lot of weights on it.
Can do some heavy lifting.
It's able to hold about, I think, 1,000 times its own weight.
Which means it could be strong enough to act as a muscle or ligament and lead to a breakthrough in common surgeries such as knee replacements.
At the moment, if you have a knee reconstruction, that you have to take a ligament out of your hamstring and put it into your knee, there's no synthetic material that really can do the job of a ligament.
The ANU scientists who invented it hope...
So, they've got a way of printing it on printer. I'm not sure if it's got it on this article.
You can make us
The researchers are trying to turn the material into a printable 3D ink, which would be used to customise implants for individual patients. For example, they could use X-rays of broken ligaments to create the perfect replacement.
3D printing works by
So that's pretty amazing technology, because we were talking about 3D printing before in previous lives. What all the different materials you can print. Now you can print material that's sort of living biomaterials. So this is the future of medical health. I'll just post that news article there if you want to go and listen to it properly. So it comes from Australia, how about that? You know, not from USA, not from UK. And of course New Zealand also is a big leader on this sort of stuff too. Especially in agriculture and earthquake research, of course. A lot of experts come here to learn what we found out and take it back to their own countries. So yeah, I'll just close that one down. That was a quick one, but there's a wee bit more on it here. Healing Hydrogels. Need a drink. I'll just read out that little bit while I have a sip. But you can see the molecule on the side here.
Self-healing hydrogels are a specialized type of polymer hydrogel. A hydrogel is a macromolecular polymer gel constructed of a network of cross-linked polymer chains. Hydrogels are synthesized from hydrophilic monomers by either chain or step growth, along with a functional cross-linker to promote network formation. The net-like structure along with void imperfections enhance the hydrogel's ability to absorb large amounts of water by hydrogen bonding. As a result, hydrogels, self-healing alike, develop characteristic firm yet elastic mechanical properties. Self-healing refers to the spontaneous formation of new bonds when old bonds are broken within a material. The structure of the hydrogel along with electrostatic attraction forces drive new bond formation through reconstructive covalent dangling side chain or non-covalent hydrogen bonding. These flesh-like properties have motivated the research and development of self-healing hydrogels in fields such as reconstructive tissue engineering as scaffolding, as well as use in passive and preventive applications. 1.
Okay, so it's quite amazing stuff. Not sure if anyone out there knew about these, but now you do. I know it's not to do with UFOs and such, but I'm not exactly a UFO channel. Anything that's strange and that has connections to everything else. Obviously, this has connections to life. And also to going out in space, right? So you can see that they have robots for space stations in the future that will be using these 3D printing stuff. Say you lost a limb or had some injury, the robot would run a program from a self-learning program from another surgeon and cut open your leg and replace it with 3D printed body parts, right? So yeah, when you look at the bigger picture, what I'm trying to show you here, it's quite amazing stuff that's coming in our future, which is actually starting to happen now. But yeah, it would be good if we could live 1,000 years to see how this is going to pan out. So here's the thing about 3D printing gel. I think it's probably got a video here of how it's printed on printer in layers, and of course that ends up being like a stretchy ligament where you stick your finger in the hole here and it clings on your finger and stretches out. We'll probably use it inside your knee or something like that. What else we got? Biodegradable. So it makes you wonder why they can't create biodegradable shopping bags. You remember all the shopping bags and plastic bottles they keep talking about? Eventually plastic bottles will be like self-destruct. You probably push a little thing in the side of it or something and it triggers a breakdown. Turns it into powder or something. So yeah, who knows what the future holds there. Thermal gels. I could see them using this in space. So if we're figuring out this stuff, is there other aliens out there that already knows all this stuff here? You can see that's a pretty big page there. So I won't go through that. Already the time's flying past, right? So we got 3D printing. So we're getting through it here. So get on to more of the UFO stuff. Okay, we got synthetic spider silk. You may have seen this on TV years ago, where there were GMO cows, where they modified the milk to actually produce it in the milk. I'm not sure how they do that though. Obviously through embryos and grow the cow, and then up to a stage where it actually produces babies, and then produces milk after that. So then they basically can pull out this spider thread through the milk. So I'll just read out what it's saying here about it. I don't think there's too much here. Yep. Where they're trying to actually promote the product here, but we'll just see what it says. So you've heard about the silk, the spider thread, the angel ear coming from UFOs. Could this be related? I don't know.
Synthetic spider silk is an alternative to the conventional spider silk, replicating the latter's features such as energy-absorbent nature, elasticity and strength. Water content in synthetic spider silk amounts up to 98%. Synthetic spider silk is made from hydrogel, which comprises of 98% of water and 2% of silica and cellulose. Synthetic spider silk is weaker compared to its natural counterpart, however, they are far stronger compared to other fibers such as nylon. Further, synthetic spider silk is also stronger and flexible compared to Kevlar. Favorable mechanical properties of synthetic spider make them ideal for tendon or ligament replacement repairing. In addition, synthetic spider silk finds fair application in airbags, tire cords, athletic gears and various others.
So it's already being used. That's what they're saying, bulletproof vests there. It couldn't say Kevlar properly, but that's what it was trying to say, and it was talking about hydrogels. So it's made from hydrogel and water and 2% silica and cellulose. There you go. So it's talking about there's going to be a surge for demand of it. I suppose it would be, especially in bulletproof vests.
Demand for synthetic spider silk in North America is expected to surge in the coming years, with US leading the growth of the market. US has the highest military spending, which amounted to US $610 billion in 2017. Synthetic spider silk is widely used to manufacture bulletproof vests, and due to this factor, the growth in demand for synthetic spider silk in the defense industry is expected to exhibit a positive growth trajectory in the coming years. Further, the automotive sector is expected to exhibit a lucrative platform for the growth of the synthetic spider silk industry in the coming years. According to insights and reports, passenger car and truck sales in the US crossed 17 million in 2016, up from 16.8 million in the previous year. Synthetic spider silk finds fair application in the manufacture of airbags, seat belts, and tire cords, among others. Moreover, in 2018, Stella Nina McCartney, a fashion designer based in London, formed a partnership with Bolt Threads, one of the key manufacturers of synthetic spider silk, to incorporate the material in apparels and luxury products. These factors are expected to propel the demand for synthetic spider silk in the coming years.
So I suppose if you can print it on 3D printer, that's where you could create these very strong overalls, right? Again, that's related to possibly of going into space and space stations, and brings in the idea of how Star Trek sort of works, right? You know, they can beam out food, plates of food, no one has to cook it. And if they want a new set of clothes, so yeah, science fiction has turned into reality almost. So yeah, so it's talking about growth there, and of course a lot of that is because of what Trump has been doing. But we won't go into that. So what we'll do is I'll just post a link to that there if you want to read out the rest of it in your own time. So that's done with the hydrogels. So now we get on to the Frank bots. And then we can get on to the MUFON stuff, hopefully. So who's out there? I see the numbers keep dropping in and out here on the watch, and not sure if that's a bug or not. So here we got anyone new here? Oh, right, 1980. I didn't see you there. Plants, yes. Are you still with us? It's good to see some regulars coming back. So, electronic voice phenomenon, you've heard it talked about on pretty much every episode of ghost shows, right? So you get sick of hearing them describe it. So basically, it's not picked up by the mic, it's picked up by the electronics and the wire itself. And then it converts it into the sound wave. So we'll just have a read of this. Of course, the devices out there, some are better than others apparently. Maybe way they're constructed. But then in the early days, they used reel-to-reel tapes, right, and big microphones. And they couldn't hear it with their ears, but they could hear the whispering over top of their voices. Sometimes it's very loud. I'm not sure if you've actually seen ghost shows where it's screaming at them on the microphone. You can see that they're filming, and then they play back the device real time, and you can see definitely that wasn't said when they were talking. Like, yeah. So yes, something to this. It's kind of weird. Whether it's residual energy in the atoms itself of the building that's somehow producing electromagnetic waveform that the device picks up and records. A lot of people, skeptics out there, say that it's imaginary, but there's definitely Class A EVPs they talk about where it's definitely you can hear the words being said, a sentence as well, over top of what they're saying or underneath their breaths or whatever in between what the words they say. So there's definitely something to it. For people like Mick West to just debunk it straight off because it doesn't fit in with their world view, instead of trying to tag along with a famous ghost hunter team and actually go and witness some of the stuff yourself. I had it happen once when I was mucking around with a cell phone, and I actually lost the file. I was going to present it and show it as evidence that I was getting whispering. Could hear two people talking in the background, and it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And of course, I'm in a sealed bedroom, and something went wrong. I hit the wrong button or something, and it deleted it. And of course, it's on a solid state, and you never get it back. It's kind of gave me the creeps. They were sort of whispering something. You couldn't quite make it out. I was going to do some enhancements on it and see what it was saying.
Within ghost hunting and parapsychology, electronic voice phenomena are sounds found on electronic recordings that are interpreted as spirit voices that have been either unintentionally recorded or intentionally requested and recorded. Parapsychologist Konstantin Zrodov, who popularized the idea in the 1970s, described it as typically brief, usually the length of a word or short phrase. Enthusiasts consider it to be a form of paranormal phenomenon often found in recordings with static or other background noise. However, scientists regard it as a form of auditory pareidolia, interpreting random sounds as voices in one's own language, and as pseudoscience promulgated by popular culture. 3 prosaic explanations for it include apophenia, perceiving patterns in random information, equipment artifacts, and hoaxes. 5
So a lot of assumptions there, isn't it, by scientists, if that's the case, or debunker. Because sometimes you hear voices on there that turn out to be a foreign language. You don't hear it in your own language, right? There's been several. You have to watch all the ghost shows. So obviously, these people don't watch the ghost shows, where you get that one little piece of information that makes you go, "Wow, that's really interesting." And definitely, you can hear it saying those particular words. Even before they suggest it. Helps if they don't say what they're hearing, and you hear it. And you see if they say the same thing. Sometimes I hear a word that they think is another word, and I hear it as a different sentence. But definitely you can hear it, some sort of speech happening, regardless of what it's saying. It's definitely, you can actually hear the syllables and consonants in it. So, this is why I don't like debunkers, because I'm not a debunker. I'm looking for answers, and I look at the evidence in whole. And that's because you have to watch everything. You have to watch everything and see the really good stuff that's out there. There's a lot of junk. A lot of time, as people said, ghost hunting is not going to have the spirits or whatever, the entities or phenomena will jump out at you. A lot of time, nothing will happen. It's like mine. When I have some sort of paranormal event happen, it's totally out of the blue, it's random, and it could be like days apart, or it could be 6 months apart, or years apart when it happens again. So it's like that. You're not expecting to do a ghost show where they get evidence each time, which is unusual if they do. Then you get a bit suspect that they might be hearing animals outside, or other people in the film and production that may have created some sounds and stuff. So you always got to keep it in mind there when they say, they can hear a baby crying and they're outside around a graveyard, that could it be an animal, so you always got to have that skeptical mindset when you look at your own evidence. But it's definitely something more going on there. On Kindred Spirits, I think they use it's probably one of the better shows out there at the moment. But they had this little blob appear on the camera footage, where it looked like it was going up into the fireplace and up the chimney. I'm not sure if you've seen this year's season. Very fascinating. But was the blob like a fly that jumped onto the lens and then moved and then flew off? They don't. You see, this is where you need this sort of a skeptical view to look at the footage that they're presenting as possibly a spiritual blob or something running across the floor. It could be something as simple as a camera artifact and a bug, a black fly that landed on the lens, or it could be paranormal. So you got to eliminate that stuff somehow, but obviously you can't eliminate everything. What else we got? UFO Buster, how's it going? Interesting topic. Cover quite a variety of topics on Sundays. It's good for you to join us. So EVP, that's generally what it talks about there. So I'll just close that one down. So you might have been watching that show called Hellier, and where they were talking about using the Frank box, which is what we call now a ghost box, which flicks through randomly bands of AM radio or FM radio. I think FM radio is obviously more used because you can get it in a chip now on phone devices, and you can automate it with apps and stuff and just flick through channels and play it loudly. And the idea of it was that as it's changing the bands, if you get the same voice that goes across all the different bands, so it can't be like a radio station breakthrough. If they're really going really fast, like there's no way you're going to get a full sentence with the same voice across all those different band changes. So this is the idea of it somehow, like the EVP, that the paranormal can influence the device to speak across the pickup information where it's recording the analog sound to digital information. which we hear as speech. So yeah, a lot of time they're asking questions and they get a response, or the person name that's investigating, which is kind of strange. You wouldn't expect that on a radio show. You know, if they go to a location and they're investigating such and such family, you don't expect the name of that to appear on the device. And if you listen to it carefully, sometimes it's not really clear, but sometimes it is, and you can actually hear the name that they're saying is the name that's being said. And to me, it does sound like the name of the person that was living there. So maybe there's more to it than what's we think should be possible. So yeah, you can see this guy built it in wooden boxes. He made these little circuit diagram boards, home-built circuit boards. I'm not sure if it's on this one or not, so let me just see if I can find it. I don't think it's on this one, but we'll read out that one. See how it all started. Frank Box, telephone to the dead. Ooh, look at that creepy face. Ghost Spot corrects ripples in paranormal world. I know they were mucking around with TV images where faces would appear in the static of reception, but that one looks like it's been photoshopped, doesn't it? So, so here we go. This Frank, and obviously he's used a bit of metal here now, so that must be a newer version. It's got various switches for delays between changing the bands, the treble and bass, other things there that he's trying to make it sound a bit clearer. There's another video on it. So where's the wooden one? So it's not too much information there apart from some videos. What's the next one? Okay, so this sounds like a skeptic, the broken radio. So we'll get to that one. So here's the wooden one. Or it doesn't work. So this is a skeptic here. It looks pretty crude. Definitely homemade. Here we go inside it. Volume, pots, wires going to a circuit board. There it is inside. Looks like he's using one of those do-yourself boxes, right? You can buy. Where's everybody going to? They're not interested in ghost boxes. Rag app, it missed an hour, had technical difficulty, back now. Yeah, I wonder where you got to. So you can see here's a maze of wires, and definitely self-built. Built. I think he made about 300 of these and gave it to various investigators. And kept playing around with it, trying to make it better or whatever. Edison, remember the story about Edison? Make a machine that could talk to the dead. You know, he's the one that did the telephone. So what's it saying here? Admitted that he had made the whole thing up. So obviously it was a publicity stunt, and of course, is he just saying it or not, just to get people off his back? It kind of makes sense that maybe he did have something that happened and talked about it and then changed his mind because he got too much nut jobs after him and people criticizing him. So he backtracked. So yeah, even though someone says made it up, there's a good way to get people off your back, right? Unfortunately, the rumours have given credence to the concept of electronic speech communication. So this is someone that obviously doesn't watch all the shows, right? She's watched bits and pieces of shows where it's been really bad, obviously. Not the really clear ones that you sometimes get. Personally, I reckon these people, instead of doing a show, they should simply just do the shows, but not actually show people, and actually, at the end of the year, show all the best bits, from all the different investigations, and do a show that way, like a 2-hour special, 3-hour special. That would be a lot more interesting, and actually have some skeptics on trying to debunk it. And in fact, actually have some skeptics go along with them. They need like a critical thinking person in their ghost hunting team that will run it through everything and prove that it can't be anything but something paranormal. And this is where these shows go wrong, I think, in my opinion. Which is basically what I'm trying to do here on the web, with everything really, ghosts, UFOs. So you can see there's quite a lot of information here, but let's see what we can do with it. I'll just play this one. I think it's got some examples. Is it a YouTube? I think it might be. I might have to play around with my little toggle switch here so I don't get copyright infringement on it. But it might help. We might be able to slow it down and hear it better.
It's July 17th. This is Frank's Box 180. Let's give it a shot. It's a copper-lined box with copper handles.
Why is it not popping up? So it's going crazy. That's strange. It's making it too big for some reason. Let me just reload. That's a new problem. We didn't have that problem last time, did we? $75. How can I get around that problem? Does that one come up? A new problem. That's weird, isn't it? What's causing that? We had that yesterday happening too, didn't we? It was putting it down here instead of up the top. Let's put it back to normal. Let's see, maybe close and reopen. Let's see if I can figure it. Troubleshoot time. Right, finish with that one. Why? That's a good question. Why would it go down there? Doesn't make any sense. It shows half a thing. I don't think they've done an update, have they? Could be something I've added since. Let's have a look. What did I add since? I think I added something for something. What was that one? Plugins interfering with each other, so probably. Let's see, what's that one? Maybe it's not on that page. Let's see, what else did I have here? I'll figure it out. It should be any of those ones. Something that's got an alien head there. Let's put an alien head there. I didn't do that. Session buddy. Google Translate. What's that one? Speak. That shouldn't be causing a problem. Auto stop shouldn't be causing a problem. That's really strange. What's that one there? Pin unpins. Oh yeah, that was the one I added. So let me just see if that's causing a problem. And that was quite a handy extension though. Off. Okay, let's see. Does it work now? Scale it down. It doesn't look like it was that. So yeah. Stomped. Don't know if I can fix this. Never had that problem before. Oh, maybe I have to restart it after the extension thing. Okay, let's do that. I don't think I've done anything else that should cause that problem. But yet, we used it a couple weeks back, no problem whatsoever. Auto stopped. I don't think that's a problem. What else we got? Could it be the miner? Doesn't seem to be. Can't see why Google Translate would cause a problem. Remove elements. This is crap that we have to put up with. This looks like something's done a auto update or something, hasn't it? Well, this doesn't seem to be causing a problem, unless you have to restart it. Disable that one. Don't think session buddy causes problem. Synth for monkey disabled. New tab. I've always had that though. Tidy eye. Well, there's not much left. That one. Yeah, that page soon can go. Let's Looks like it's got a button down here. I'm just trying to see. Maybe I hit something wrong. Okay, let's see what happens. No. Details. I don't think it's a nuke one, but I could have used it accidentally on something. Let's restart. Hey, there we go. So, must be something to do with this remove element. So it screwed up with it. Let me just turn everything back on that I want. See, I told you I'd figure it out eventually. Oh, that can go. Ah, now it's screwing up down there. Tab is okay, I think. Session buddy. All these add-ons to make life easier, right? So we still got it working. No, it's gone wrong again. It might be near restart. Combination of two things. So what's the two things? Is the question. Could be that pin thing. Right, shooting down there still. Minor. Don't think it's that, but we'll see. Oh, you're driving me crazy, computer. Men in Black been at it again. How to ruin your presentation when things go wrong. Google translates. Minor. New tab. Can't be that because it's my start page. That's what does that. We've had that for ages, so it should be that. We'll just try it anyway. No, it's not that. Tiny I don't think so. That's strange, it worked there for a minute and now it's not. Ah, right, I know. There's another add-on I use over here called Auto Window thing. It's trying to think it's that window down there. It's moving it. So that's what it is. Now I know what's going on. It's getting the wrong information. So I'll have to work on the other screen here so I can turn it off. something that I gotta figure out today. Me think it was extensions, and it's not. Let's see. It's like working on the computer help desk game when people phone in for faults and you're trying to figure out what's going on. So, where is the thing? OBS. Watching. Looks of it. Target window. A. This is A, isn't it? Let's have a look. I think that's A. A, portable Brave. Looks like I might have to do it on header here. Sub alerts. So that one there is what's causing the problem, I think. Sub alerts. Watching. Alright, so that might fix it. Just one typo, I think. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so you probably didn't learn anything there, but just takes one little slight typo in your text matching and bingo. You have these problems that you didn't know that you had made. Because I had to rearrange how the counters work, and they always I have this program that puts it in place and resizes it automatically, so I don't have to do it each time. And because it's a browser window based on this one here, it was actually I was thinking that thing popping up was actually this window here, so it was putting it down here all the time, or trying to. So that's how I could explain that one. So we should be able to turn all these back on. At least you'll learn about the advanced features of Chrome or Brave, which is based on Chrome. I think I've turned them all on now. Extensions, that's all these little add-ons that I use for the show. Should be all lined up now. I'll just close it and reopen it and we should be in business. Hello Clayton, didn't see you there, I was trying to troubleshoot problem. So it should now all be working. There we go. And we can boost the volume. So let's do a pitch change on that one. And boost the volume. Okay, we're back in business.
It's July 17th. This is Frank's Box 180. Let's give it a shot. It's a copper-lined box with
copper handles, built-in echo. I'm going to start it off on FM mode, and it's also a homebrew tuner, which means Frank built it from scratch. So let's check this out.
So you've seen these on ghost shows called the Ghost Box. This is where it's sort of developed from. And it's automatically flipping through channels. To me, that's not very convincing. Alright, that sounds like it's getting various words between radio stations here because it's not changing fast enough.
Hello?
So why would it be blabbing all that stuff out without even asking any questions, right? So yeah, I can see the concept of it here, but I don't think this is a really... They're saying these are the best ones. You need to hold the hands on the antennas here. See the antennas out the side here? I don't know, it's all sorts of weird ideas that they sort of plugged into it where ghosts could use your energy to put it across the contacts of the obviously the mic pickup inside where they're taking it from the radio. If it was me, I'd like to have a hiss, a dampener, so you can remove the hiss. Maybe they've got a switch there for that.
See the difference?
Well, I heard Wicked.
Who's Rhea? Who's Max? Hi, it's Tim.
So he's saying his name is Tim, and it said Tim there. Kind of sound like Timothy, but it seems all random. To me, it sounds like various words from various radio stations. So that's the problem with using the radio band FM. Yeah, so yeah, I think the idea's there, but I think you'd have to be like in a Faraday cage when you use this thing, so you don't get the radio signals coming in, and then if you get voices breaking through, then that would make your head scratch. Then you'd think, oh, there's something more going on here. I know they have used this in places where the remote countryside, the newer ghost boxes, so they can do it really fast because they've got microprocessors and chips doing the FM. Changing the bands automatically for them. This is obviously some old design, that he's using some sort of oscillating crystal probably for a timer, like a 5.5 chip maybe, to automatically flip through the FM bands.
I don't know if you just heard it or not, but it said copper.
I don't know if we can make it any clearer there. You can start to hear it a bit better now. He needs a pitch shifter like I've got. Okay, let's stop talking now. Slow it right down. Timmy, we heard that. What's happened?
Patrick, think.
Jesus, is that what all of it was? Oh no, we've got 2 minutes to go. Yeah, I heard hard.
I'm not going to speak, guys. I'm just going to listen.
We also need a treble control. I've got it slowing down on per word here. So I don't know, I'm not too convinced on it myself. That sounds creepy. What's happened? That's him talking, I think. I would like to play around with it myself, really. Maybe speed it up.
Let's try the delay function.
Let's try those settings here. How's it coming out on can't quite hear the monitor playback on it. So what I'm trying to listen to here, is it like the same voice, the same sort of pitch voice going across the band, so you can't really hear it too well. I suppose I've got to end up again. Yeah, I'm not too convinced on this. Let's start at the beginning again.
So let's check this out.
Did Frank invent tuning? I heard that one. Is that going across multiple bands there, or is it coming through one radio station there? I don't know. Anyway, that was a bit of fun with that one anyway. We'll just carry on. So yeah, there is a lot of better stuff out there than his experiment here. To me, he should put that in a Faraday cage. To me, that would have been a lot better experiment. You can build like full-size ones, right, that go around a bed or whatever. But you could do it with various meshes. You could do microwave mesh. That would probably cut out FM radio, I'd say. I haven't tried it. Can you put an FM radio inside a microwave and get reception? I don't think you can, because that's shielded, right, to stop leakage. What's happened here? It's super big, isn't it? Let's see. It's easy to read though. So let's just have a look at this early blurb here, talking about it. Talking about paranormal investigations. We'll post the links as well, so you can have a read on yourself. Time's flying on. So we had a wee bit of problem there with some downtime of about 5 minutes, so I solved that one pretty good. It looks like someone's at the front door. Someone else in the house will get it. Okay, so there's the 3 links that I've got on this stuff. So this one's Skeptical Inquirer. Why do I need to have a cut on there? Probably scale that one down a wee bit. And this one is from, looks like a UFO channel. And this one's from, don't know, what's that person's name? .com. So let's just read what he or she has to say. Is it a she? Where does it say? Chris Moon. I don't know if he's someone that we should know about. But let's have a look.
Once I started conducting paranormal investigations full-time, my focus quickly became two-way spirit communication. I tried all sorts of techniques in an attempt to speak with the other side. But it wasn't until I met Frank Simpson, the eccentric genius who invented the infamous Frank's box or ghost box, with a little help from engineers in the spirit realm, that I was able to really, truly communicate with spirits and other astral world inhabitants, including entities as diverse as Ents and shadow people. Frank's box and Thomas Edison. Frank's box is the completed version of Thomas Edison's infamous telephone to the dead. The device was completed in 2002 by Frank Simpson, a shortwave radio and electronics buff. As far as I know, I was the first person to ever use Frank's box in an actual paranormal investigation. That was in 2003. The machine facilitates real-time, two-way communication to the spirit world, and, as soon as my dad and I experienced it in action, we knew it would revolutionize the paranormal investigation field. The device requires mediumship ability on the part of the operator, not only to assist in translation, but also to power the machine. The assistance of a spirit technician is also mandatory for safe communication.
So, what they're doing now is blindfolding people and putting headphones on, so they're listening through all the static noise that it produces. And like if you watch Kindred Spirits, the guy sitting in the chair can't hear what's going on, and he just asks questions, and then the other person replies, which kind of makes a lot of sense, because there was one episode, I think it was season 4, episode 1, I think it's the current season, where they were given names and specific details, and they went and looked it up in the library, and sure enough, all those details from that property were in that library, the people that lived there and all that sort of stuff. So to me, that makes me less skeptical, less cheating. Of course, again, I would like to muck around with the device myself and do a Faraday cage on it and see if any stuff does happen if it's in a Faraday cage. But, you know, Faraday cages don't have to be little boxes. They can be as big as rooms or whatever. But I don't think I'll probably be able to do it in this household. I'd have to have my own property to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, it'd be a good experiment just to really debunk it properly. You know, it's alright for a skeptic or debunker to say it doesn't work, and it's obviously pareidolia of the ears, but does seem, if you watch all the ghost shows, occasionally you just get one scene where everything seems to fit and it seems to be communicating. Hellier also did use the God Helmet and the Frank box, and they got some clues from it which did add up further on in the series. What was some of the stuff? A tin can. He saw a vision of a tin can when he had the helmet on, and they go find this cave that's got a tin can in it. So maybe you could say that was just pure luck, which it could be. And what's the other things they did in the second season with it, where there was some interesting stuff that sort of happened with it? I can't remember now. I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but Shelley probably knows what I mean.
Spirit technicians. The idea of spirit technicians has fascinated me since I made first contact. It seems these individuals are from all the corners of the universe. I believe spirit technicians are sometimes spirits that once lived on Earth in a physical body, and sometimes, more often, actually they are entities that did not exist on the earthly plane or in any other physical reality. In my years of research, I found many of the spirit technicians were what you might consider extraterrestrial spirit entities. I believe that the techs are more common due to their access to infinite levels of intelligent existence. According to Thomas Edison, via my communications with him, all of the individual beings that serve as spirit technicians were hand-selected to work on this particular project and have been in place for some time. The technician, not being a physical entity, has the ability to seek out and interact with specific spirits. It's absolutely vital to work with a spirit technician when using the ghost box.
What's happened?
The spirit technician is the gatekeeper who ensures not only that we are communicating with the specific spirits whom we're attempting to reach, but also makes certain that any negative energy is held at bay. I've had many experiences throughout the years in which dark energies have attempted to trick me into thinking that I was communicating with the spirit in need, when in fact I was being duped by a dark energy. I've learned to always listen to my technicians as they tell me they see things from the top of the mountain that I couldn't possibly see from where I stand. Many times the technicians had drained the batteries in the device to stop these communications when I insisted on pushing forward. In one particular case, they actually physically flipped the device's power switch to the off position, effectively ending the contact. Role of the spirit technician. The role of the spirit technician is a varied one. In the majority of my communications with spirit technicians, they've mainly been facilitators. I am aware there are different levels to the team that Mr. Edson assembled, and I'm sure that I haven't communicated with all of them.
So he's talking about physical switch being flipped here. I'd like to see that on camera. That would be something awesome, wouldn't it, seeing that happen? So this sounds like someone current? Or is it someone old? It's talking about 2002, 2003 here, though, right? So Edison, how could he be talking to Edison? So I'm not too sure what's going on there. Edison would be dead by then, wouldn't he? Hang on, let me just check out Thomas Edison. He would be dead or super old. Thomas. So, is that right? Oh, we'll see. Yeah, the internet's running a wee bit slow again for some reason. So what year did he die? Ages ago, right? 1931. So what's he talking about? Is he talking about someone else? Complex version of ten innocence. Is he talking about in spirit form or what? Did I miss something here? Any idea there, guys? Thomas, my communication with him. So it sounds like that he's talking to it through the ghost box. Is that what he's saying? Oh well, there you go. So what does he look like, this guy? There he is. I suppose that's who he's talking about. So yeah. So this is a paranormal investigator. Obviously believes in the paranormal and dark energies and good energies. And also it being alien, which is quite interesting. Remember that one we did with... what's his name now? In New York City. What was his name? Isn't it terrible getting old? Someone down the side probably know who I'm talking about. The guy that was talking about aliens in the attic. That he was communicating with Men in Black. Men in Black one it was. What was his name? Someone out there will know the name that I'm talking about. But anyway, that Men in Black told him if he wants to communicate with the aliens to tune his radio in the static part between two radio bands, two radio station bands, so they're not interfering. Which is what this ghost box idea was sort of developed on further. So what else do we need to read on this guy's one? Frank's box evolution. Okay, so let's see what they say about Frank's box here. Oh, it's quite a little blurb there though. I'll read out that chunk. We've got to move on. How's the time going? 2.5. Damn.
Frank's box evolution. There were at least 6 incarnations of Frank's box, each an improvement over the previous model, smaller, or with less static. The last version Frank Sumption was working on when he passed away even had a video component. The first device Frank built was a huge, heavy machine that was extremely difficult to transport and required electricity to function. The second generation device was about half the size of the first, much lighter, and included a handle for somewhat easier transport. The third generation device was much smaller and ran on a large surplus of AA batteries. The only drawback of the third generation device was that, due to the size of the machine, the speaker and power amps were much smaller and it was somewhat difficult to hear. As for the fourth generation ghost box, I contacted Frank with a specific request for a machine. The spirit technicians had come to me over several different sessions and told me what I would need for clearer communication. I contacted Frank and provided him with $275 to complete the machine to the technician's specifications. Once again, without fail, Frank contacted me less than 2 weeks later with the completed device. It was a wooden box with a brass handle. There was a small latch on the front of the device, and when you lifted the cover, the facing of the device was inside. There were speakers on the front as well as the sides of the device. It offered both linear and random function as well as an AM/FM source switch. The device several different knobs for volume and rate adjustment as well as 2 antennas that ran from the upper left-hand corner of the device. This device, unlike the others, ran on rechargeable gel cell batteries. The machine could run for several hours without having to be charged again and offered the opportunity to use the machine in new and exciting ways. This is still the primary device that I use today. Thomas Edison seems to be the brains behind this operation, which really is the embodiment of his telephone to the dead. He's very much in charge and only comes through when a strong message needs to be delivered from up top. Rarely does Mr. Edison make an appearance during a private or public session, but when he does his voice is very clear and distinct as if he's achieved a certain spiritual level that I can't fathom.
So yeah, he is talking to him after all then. Spirit technicians, kind of like that term. I don't mind a bit of spirits myself. Okay, so before I read out any more of that, I better check out on the side. That's a Morg synthesizer component, a low pass filter, very interesting for all instruments. I use it for guitar and drums. That is some cop to tell. What's it all about, Paul? Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. We're talking about ghost boxes and the first ones that were invented, where it all sort of stemmed from. Speaking of synthesizers, I actually come across this app here last night. I had a bit of fun with it. MIDI City it's called. Let's see if it works. I don't know if it's going to work on live, but we'll give it a try. It might be too slow, but it's like a touchscreen piano thing, and you can change different instruments on it. So yeah, we can scale it down a wee bit. Can we hear that or not? I'm not sure where it's going to. Don't know if it's loud enough. I don't know if I can amp it up. Let's see if that works. It's not coming down. Oh, yes it is. Okay, can we hear it better now? Okay, we need a better instrument. Let's see. Violins. Try that one. What's it do there? It's taking some time to download that into memory, but looks of it, that one. Oh, very slow, isn't it? That sounds better. Oh, scary. It won't play the other ones until they're loaded. So I'm not sure how the software is working. Obviously it doesn't download a sound and convert it. It converts it to a key by the looks of it and downloads each of the sounds. There must be a reason to do that. Maybe it's quicker. Oh, that's a big file. My internet connection is not fast enough. So see if you can recognize this one. I'm going to try and play it. There you go. Haven't played piano for a long time. Synthesizer. Sounded very glitchy, didn't it? I'm not sure how it come out on there. It should be smooth. So we're communicating with aliens at the moment. That's close encounter thing it's meant to be. So let's try some other instruments. So we got sidetracked here for a bit of fun instead. Ghost box. We got even drums here. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Oh, really bad, eh? Looks like you need a lot of processing power for it. See. No, it's terrible. It's too slow. So what else we got here? It's going to be a faster instrument. Strings, synth effects. What's that one? I'll post it there so you can have a play around with it. Rain soundtrack. What's that one sound like? Oh, that loaded pretty quick. Oh, that one sounds alright. There you go. How about my amateur skills there? So that sounds pretty good. I wonder if the drums will play. Dum da dum. And we probably can change it. Let's see what else we got. Hey, cool. Sounds like Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds, there go. 5, 4. And I don't know how to play Thunderbirds, unfortunately. Else I would be playing it. That sounds pretty cool. Then you could play Doctor Who. I don't think I can play that right now. So what else we got here? That one's pretty good. That one would be good for Doctor Who, I think. Techno 07. I don't know what else you can do with it. And you can change the drum kit here too as well. So that's acoustic kit. I suppose it's going to take forever to download it now though. That's pretty good. Anyway, like I said, it's a bit of fun. What you can do on browsers now, what people write for us. And it's not the only one. You can get full pianos as well that does the same thing. And of course tablets make it a lot easier because you can just put your fingers on the screen and play it like a normal keyboard. You get one of those super large tablets that have Windows 10 on it. Darren Graper managed to afford one. It's like a 24-inch screen tablet, right? And you can do a full piano on it and have a lot of fun on the road and stuff. So soundtrack wasn't too bad. What else would be... normally you have Indian type sounds, don't you? Like sitar, but I don't think the sound effects for that's very good on here. Piccolo. That one's taking a wee bit longer to load. That one sounds a bit cleaner, doesn't it? And of course you can use the mouse to do it too. Let's see, where did I go wrong? It's easy to do it on keyboard. B should have been. C. Da, da, da. And on Close Encounters, they've got the Indians singing it, isn't it, in India? Da, 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 da. It's probably one of the easiest soundtracks, but it's really the one that's most recognised in the world, isn't it? That's one of my favourite movies, was Close Encounter 1. And that tune is, I think even Enigma uses it on one of their tunes, and they play it in the background. They have a nice bell sound. I wonder if we got a bell sound or not. Flute might sound alright. See, I love playing around with music and synthesizers, so I used to have quite a few of them. I had a collection of ones where you could actually make the sound yourself rather than using samples, real synthesizers, and that was great for Doctor Who and stuff like that. But I've forgotten a lot of this, how to play stuff. I need to relearn it all. So you can't get the speed that you can with your fingers. On a normal keyboard. But that one sounds glitchy for some reason. It needs more speed. Pan flute. I think I saw there. That's a nice sound normally. But I don't know about this one. Oh, that sounds pretty good. You got the sort of breathy sound on it. And you got the wedding march. You can play the wedding march here. Okay, my memory's a wee bit lapsing there. Oh god. That one's sort of a bit glitching too. Is there any bells here? Tubular bells? Tingle bell. Tubular bells. You remember the album, Tubular Bells? That was really cool. He replaced all the instruments himself. Was one of Virgin's first albums that made him really rich. That brings you back to school where you have the little triangles and stuff. Yes, multi-talented here. Computer fixer, musician, UFO researcher. I think you got to be multi-talented. B12, really, many things can trigger it. Yeah, that was in the Hellier series too. They were given a, speaking of spirit boxes again, and they were given communication to play this tune inside the cave, and it would trigger more spirit communication. So I'm not sure, I can't remember how it went now, but we could probably simulate it on here. So yeah, proper keyboard will make it a bit easier here. Glitching a bit. Almost got it sorted. There you go, ta-da! I remember it. Okay, we'll get out of that. I'll be there all day playing around with that. I love that sort of stuff. It's relaxing. Use the other side of your brain instead of the other right hemisphere. Yes, Close Encounter. But yeah, you can do that on tablets. There's a lot of good software, and actually it loads music. I can't remember what it's called now, and it actually creates a piano keyboard, and it actually shows you the next notes, the next keys you have to press, and you can actually learn music that way very quickly. It's really damn good, really. Purpose of Frank's box. So we'll just get back onto topic here. You're talking about synthesizers, and oddly enough, I was playing around with that last night. So yeah. So we've communicated with aliens, and we might get in contact with them with the music now. Looks like UFO Stalker might have to be left for another day.
Purpose of Frank's box. A few years after I started working with the Ghost Box, I had a very interesting discussion with Mr. Edson and a few higher-level members of his team about the wider scope of the entire project. I was told about a project codenamed the 2012 Directive. I was informed that the veil between the worlds is thinning due to several different circumstances. Apparently, this had been foretold near the beginning of the project. I was told that my specific role was to take these machines into the world and expose as many individuals as possible to realities of spirit communication and the messages that wait for them in the next world. I wasn't sure what to make of this message at first. Anyone who knows me knows that I check my sanity each and every day. The thing that really amazes me is that everything I was told during that session has come to fruition. I was told I would be presented opportunities to share my gifts and the team's message, even in times when that seemed impossible. I've been amazed at the synchronicity that has occurred in my life since working with the Ghost Box. I seem to be put in the right situation at the right time, every time. Even in the instances I've questioned why I'm at a particular event with low attendance or a non-receptive audience, I have always been rewarded with being able to dramatically help at least one person.
Sorry. Synchronicity, we're often talking about that a lot in UFO fields. And here he's talking about it in the paranormal world. When you're talking to someone online and that they come out with the same subject that you were just about to bring up out of the blue. Or say the same word, or you're thinking of someone and suddenly they send you a text message or stuff like that. Spooky action at a distance, and you got synchronicities where you think about the same things. Something happens. To me, there is some sort of science behind all that, though. It might be, I'm not able to explain it, but I'm pretty sure everybody out there can come across situations where you might find someone that sort of finishes off your sentence, which is kind of weird. Someone that's completely not related or twin or anything like that, but you start off with a sentence and they finish off the rest of the sentence before you even said it. There's a woman over the dog park, which I haven't seen for a while. I used to do it quite a lot. And I thought, well, this is kind of freaky. How else you know I was going to say the rest of that, in the sentence, because it could have been completely different. So yeah, definitely, I see things like that. So I'm pretty sure most of you out there would see that too. It's an interesting topic, all this, and it all sort of ties in. So how does the Frank box work? Let's see what this one's got to say. So I might just finish off a Frank box, and hopefully I can do MUFON only next time I do a live stream. In fact, I may even do another live stream in the week. If I feel like it, because I have been a wee bit tired. Today I was a wee bit tired. Let's see, we missed out the front bit, so we'll just go over that. Paranormal State, you might better remember that series on TV. I kind of liked it, but it was kind of a wee bit suspect, that show, though. And you got Chip Coffey, or whatever his name is, the gay medium guy. He seemed to come out with some stuff which was quite interesting, but yeah, a wee bit suspect on mediums, whether they could research location before they go there. But yeah, I suppose if you work with the people and that happens off air, right? So then you start to believe they have some sort of capabilities of tapping into that so-called ether energy field, which is spooky action at the distance. Maybe they can sort of read information that's stored in the environment somehow, the brain somehow has organised itself. Crazy, but we need to somehow prove it with science. Is about the only way.
In 2002, Frank came up with the idea of a voltage-tuned radio, that is a box with an echo chamber for audio. Frank's ghost box captured worldwide attention when it was featured on an episode of the popular series Paranormal State.
So there's another guy that's created one of these next advances of the ghost box. It's just like a big echo chamber, and it sounds too good to be true, you know, because none of these guys give. Unlike this one, you can at least see the circuit diagram if you get hold of one. These other ones you can buy online, that's was it Nick, what's his name, Croft was using on his show. What's that one called? Paranormal Lockdown, and something else he does. But they're using the echo chamber boxes. Bit suspect because you don't know how it works. It may have like you can use intelligence now, like pick up voice, you know, AI, and listen to what's being said, why it's meant to be turned off when it may be in like an idle mode or something, and it's sort of recording what they're saying, and then it plays back random words through the speech synthesis that it's heard during the day, which mean they might be talking about the property and names. I don't know. There's possibly one way they could fake it on those latest ones. And it's terrible echo. It's like super echo. It's like an echo inside an echo. I'm not sure if you know what I mean. I'm not sure if I can find it. Can't remember what it was called now. Ghost Box Super Echo. Paranormal Lockdown. Probably get copyright infringement playing it, so we use that little thing. But you'll see what I mean. See if we can find a clip. Let's see. Big Beard Box, is that what it's called? Echo Voice UK. Looks like someone's trying to sell one, is it? So let's have a look. Sorry, Shelley. My mind's going all over the place today. I thought we were going to get a picture of it. Looks like it's part of the TV show, right? Echo Vox 2 Classic Paranormal Ghost Box. Let's have a look at that one. So they're probably doing it on apps now, which makes it a bit more suspect, because they're probably using Google's API to recognize what's being said, and then playing it back, random words. No. Oh yeah, here we go. So let's see, maybe we can play that. I don't know. Play.google. What's that doing? Oh, that's the App Store, isn't it? I think it's too big a 2. Let's bring it down. Oh, why is it not playing it? I have been banned. No, it won't let me turn that on either. We want a YouTube. Oh, here we go. Where's the play button? Scroll button for it. There we are. Is it? Oh, open there. Duh. Embedded player of some kind. Was it YouTube? No, it doesn't say, does it? No, as soon as I click off it. Stupid thing. Okay, we'll just keep looking. YouTube, we want Spirit Story Box. Civil War Ghost Box Session, YouTube. Let's have a quick look at that one. These guys are busy on the side chat now. Oh, it's getting late though, isn't it? We're up to 3 hours already. I was running late today too. It's frustrating. I suppose I rambled a wee bit there and got sidetracked with problems, but yeah, I still keeps it interesting though, doesn't it? So what's going on here? Creepy sound.
Hey everybody, it's Bunny, and I'm back in my favorite graveyard in Galveston once again to see if I can do another ghost box session. So I can't promise you that I'm gonna have as a searcher around here. He discovered that a Medal of Honor winner.
So there's no ghost box then. So it's not the show, unfortunately. Oh, that's just useless. Useless. Okay, so let's see. What was it called now? I forgot to look at the name. Big Box or something, was it? Ghost in the Machine. Ghost Box. I suppose this is a problem with paranormal lockdown. Problem with Google because of copyright and all that bullshit. No, we can't actually use it for examples. It's frustrating. Have we got Ghost Box in this one? I want to see that crazy echo box that I'm talking about. Okay. Let's have a look at that one. Have we still got that on? Let's turn it off when we do a new one. Let's see what this one is. It might be the crazy box this time. Destination America. It's probably copyright, right?
I'm feeling what this energy, when it was living, went through. Maybe.
Here's the box. That's it. So that's what we're after. So what's he saying here? Hopefully we don't get any sort of copyright claims on it. Yes, yeah, not sure what's happening with the internet at the moment. Looks like it's getting heavily done over.
This location, it wants something from you.
It's gone back to the beginning.
It's a scary part of it.
Overwhelming. That there is something in this woods. Whoa.
It's like mumbling, talking.
Is that the same clip, or has it gone to another one? Hang on. Let me just check.
See? I get that there was a murder here. We understand that, but what do you want to tell us? Oh, I can't shake it. I can't.
There you go. This is the echo box.
Were you brought here through the seance?
Yes.
Yes. So, you weren't actually at this house. You came from somewhere else? Jesus.
You okay? I heard it.
Yeah, no, someone just hit the fireplace. And I just felt that. You weren't actually at this house. You came from somewhere else.
Come on, I want to get the ghost box.
Jesus.
That was loud.
Are we too close to something? Are you trying to scare us? Whoa, there's the cold mass of air again. And now I get the electricity again. Like, god damn it. Someone just stabbed me in the leg.
So we don't know how that box works.
Knife just stabbed me right
You can
in the
hear
back
it
of my
sort
leg.
of picking up their own voices and
Like, what's
repeating
going
it
on,
back,
honestly?
almost.
We're picking up on what someone experienced while they were here.
Let's see, where was the beginning of this silly clip?
You don't smell that? Murder. See? I get that there was a murder here. We understand that, but what do you want to tell us? Oh my... I can't shake it. I can't get this, like, off me. Were you brought here through the seance?
Yes.
Yes. So, you weren't actually at this house. You came from somewhere else? Jesus.
You okay? I heard
UFO Jesus.
Murder.
Okay, let's go back. That's not a very good one. Clip here.
You don't smell that? Murder.
Sounded like a
See?
female voice on it, didn't it? Murder. So I don't know how that box is working, but that's not the best clip though. There's a lot of better ones out there where it sort of blabs to them, lots of sentences, which is quite interesting. But yeah, something like I like to get my hands on, and the circuit diagram and how it was made, and see if it can possibly just generate random words, or it listens to on you and it repeats the words that it hears, stores it over time. So yeah, I'm not sure what it's called though. Is it called a golden voice box or something? More people out there might know more about it that do the paranormal investigations. A Morga Forga Echo and low pass filter gets some crazy stuff. Well, you should bring it on the show and show us. Have you got it on video? Bring it on the show, and when we do a free for all, you could have done it yesterday. You could have said, "Oh, this is what I done." But I think it's worth experimenting with these things because there might be something to it, right? Who knows? If it's an interdimension, maybe if you can somehow get them to communicate through an interdimension, it might prove the existence of a multi-universe or whatever, you know. You never know where it's going to go. Alright, so Shelley's fascinated. You're always fascinated in anything that I bring up, Shelley. Come on, you're like the #1 fan. So, who else is out here? You play guitar, good on you. I could never get my hand around guitar and pressing on the strings. I think my fingers were too much sausage fingers. Yes, music is definitely mathematical based. I wrote a lot of software based on maths. In fact, I wrote some of the early synthesizer stuff before synthesizers were around, believe it or not. I got some of my work published in magazines. I was mucking around with 8-bit micros and recording speech and playing it back. First samples. I don't think even sample synthesizers existed back then. But I was like working on cutting edge stuff that you'd think I was BSing you about. But yeah, I was working on AI and I was working on playing back sounds using your voice stored in the synthesizer and on the computer. In fact, what I did is on my 8-bit micro, I actually pulled it apart and I soldered on cables onto the keyboard inputs and wired it up to a normal keyboard with contacts on it, because it was pre-MIDI days, right? So as you press the keys, it would touch a contact and it would be like letter A or letter F or whatever, and then I could convert that back into musical notation and then I could play it back, what you were playing on the keyboard. My friend was always amazed at what I was doing on that stuff, and yeah, it sort of developed very fast, the MIDI stuff from that period in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Yes, I was sort of really doing, I was actually the real hardware hacker type person, doing all this complicated stuff. I can't do it now, of course. My eyes are no good. I can't see the really fine wires, solder and iron and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I was only, a young guy, 18s to 20-year-olds. What they do nowadays is just sit and play PlayStation. Well, I was actually a bit like Steve Jobs, mate. What's his name? Wozzy the Apple guy. I was a wee bit like him, just pulling things apart and reassemble it and make it into new things. I wasn't really a clever electronics person. I just knew basics and understood the outputs and inputs, and I blew up a few things, of course, in the process with static and all that. So yeah, shame I can't video all that old stuff like we do nowadays. I could have videoed all the little projects I was working on and actually had it on a YouTube channel, and it might have inspired people to actually look at that side of things, because when you're dealing with like 8-bit micros, right, they're like calculators. More powerful than what was in the early space rockets, of course, and yeah, you could do quite amazing things, analog to digital conversions. What's that sound? I'm not picking up EVPs in my room, am I? I thought I could hear some whispering on my left ear here. Or was it outside? Kind of creepy. I might have to play that back. Sometimes you hear stuff in your headset that doesn't actually come out on YouTube as well. Remember Rob was talking, said after a live stream, he said, why are you making all that heavy breathing sound? And I said, I wasn't making any heavy breathing. I said, what are you talking about? And he reckons it went all crazy and he got dropped off, remember? It was one of the live streams we were doing Saturday. And I said, maybe you're getting EVP in your house and it was playing into your headset and I couldn't hear what you were hearing. I think it sort of freaked him out, me talking about that. But yeah, so yeah, Frank's box here. We got sample, have we? What's this one here? Another one that we could probably play, hopefully. YouTube.
So who here is the one who's picking on the little boy? What's your name? The guy with the white hair.
Alexa. But it sounds to me like that was on a radio station to me. Unless you can prove it's actually going through different radio bands. It needs to be done graphically, and you see the voice going across 5 bands or whatever with the same voice and tone, then I'd believe that sort of stuff. Science behind the ghost box generates random voltage. Now let's just read all that bit. Lay terms. Yeah.
Science behind the ghost box. The science behind a ghost box device is that it generates random voltage from a transistor, which tunes to a frequency in the AM band. The signal is filtered, and in turn amplified and fed through a speaker. The box could be acting as a noise generator that entities utilize to communicate, capitalizing on the audio frequencies to send messages. Spirits influence the random voltage generator, RVG, manipulating existing voices on radio broadcasts. With the emergence of an increasing array of electronic recording devices, unexplainable lips have been heard and recorded for decades. While skeptics point to bleed over or random noises interpreted by eager listeners with preconceived notions about the afterlife, numerous studies have demonstrated that something may indeed be occurring. Instrumental transdimensional communication, IC, in fact, is a term coined to describe the use of electronic devices to facilitate communication with the beyond.
Okay, so I know some of these people put on these headsets that just play static. It doesn't actually do the FM radio stuff. And they hear voices in the static. And because that's what they're talking about there also. That the brain's making words out of noise. But when you got someone that's sort of outside, not hearing it, and asking questions, and they're getting responses back to the questions, it does make you wonder that there's more going on there than it's not actually random. I can't actually play the clip from the show to show you the example that I'm talking about, but there is one on Hellier that we might be able to bring up and show, but I really have to get going now, really. I've run out of time. I've blabbed too much. Hellier YouTube. Let's see what come up. Ghostbox. I'm not even sure what episode it would be on, if anyone could remember what episode they were doing it on. Let's see. God Helmet. They might have a clip that we can play. I still, I still find it all interesting, if we're still not sure about it. Should be taken seriously and studied and played around with more. That's what I'm thinking. Is that Hellier? No. Probably not going to find it. Google search is useless. Come on. I've got 2 keywords in there. It should come up with just those ones. I got that sticky key thing come up because I pressed the key down too long. Damn, useless. God helmet, near death, out of body. The God helmet's a wee bit different. It puts magnets around your frontal lobe and it sort of affects the brain cells, which is very interesting. Oh, here we go. Green Men. Is it on that one? What's come up here? Screwed up. Looks like it's getting bigger, not smaller. What's this here? Never heard of this one. It looks like it's on a website embedded. Damn it. You'd think they'd have a clip of it. Where they're doing it. Planet Weird, that's it. I don't know if they got anything in that with the God helmet though. I don't like playing trailers because we get done for copyright infringement, don't we? Doesn't look like it's there from what I can see. And the thumbnails. So we could search here maybe. God helmet. No. Oops. Which episode was it on? It was later on, wasn't it? When they're in the cave and it was telling them about the music. Here it is. Is that the one? Nope. Kindred Spirits. Yes. It would have been season 2, I think. Was the best one. Season 2. I'll post the link down there anyway to this series that you can have a watch that uses this Frank box on God Helmet. They've got playlists for each of the season. I think one was 8 episodes and the other one was 10 or something like that. Let's see, season 1, season 2. Have they got any ones that we can play safely? Where they're sort of blindfolded and one's asking a question. But I don't really want to ruin the series for people. But you'll find it there somewhere. One of the later episodes. Let's see. Got an index here. Let me just open up here. Was it episode 8 or 9 where they do it and it tells them to play a tune in the cave, which I found quite interesting, where you get the resonance of the rocks happening in crystals, right, through the tones, which kind of makes sense. It sounds airy-fairy, but there's actually some real science behind it all. So eventually they go to a cave and do the experiment, don't they? But yeah, I just don't know which episode it was in now. It might have been 7, maybe. Or 9. I'm not sure if Shelley remembers. Have we got any ideas out there? It looks like we sparked Clayton off into a discussion here. He's into the ghost box and synthesizers. But yeah, so you never know what you're going to find out on the Out There channel or what we get up to here. We cover a whole range of topics that also all connected, right, into our mission to find the truth. I wish I could build these things and experiment myself, but I got to that age where everything's against me now. Money-wise, eyesight, hands, pain in my back, pain in my wrists, everything's against me now. Yeah, so I don't know if it's in that one. Doesn't look like it, does it? You can see they got it on similar scope, which is not 16:19, but the next one up, 18:9 or aspect, or 21 and 9 aspect, or whatever you call it, which is for picture theatres. Yeah, it's a bit hard to find it. I might look for it and finish it off next time then. See how we go with the copyright infringement this time. Or copyright claim. So yeah, maybe read out a wee bit of this here, play something from Hellier, a clip from Hellier, where they're doing with the blindfold. And then get on to some MUFON stuff. But yeah, I've got to get going. It's coming up to dinner time here, and I've yet to take the dog out. Yes, I'd keep on going. Do a 20-hour live stream, huh? Better cover it all. But yeah, I probably need a break from it. Of course, I got some bad comments on past lives saying everybody was bored with it or whatever. Yeah, and so yeah, it's better to have people on voice, I know, talking with you about the stuff or helping you find the stuff while we're doing live investigations or live debunks, as I call it. So yeah, these people are really skeptics about it, but yeah, I'll see if I can find that Hellier clip. I should have left it open, really, shouldn't I? Let's see, you can go here and go history. What's happened there? That's weird. What happened there? Somehow it opened something and it's already pinned. What was there on that tab? Nothing. That's kind of strange. Okay, yeah, you can go here, history, and it gives you a list of things that you closed down, so I should keep that open there and see if I can find it. But yeah, I'll close it down there before I stuff it up. No, that's the last one we'll look at. Yep. Okay. Sometimes you close it and it disappears. That's why I got all these add-ons that help me keep track of the sessions. So you can go back and it saves it, does a backup every so often of the tabs in case you lose your tabs, and you can reload them and search in the last hour, you see. So we can go back and see what we had last hour ago. But yeah, these add-ons are quite handy. So I'll just close that down there. I don't know if I got any subs or less subs. Let's see. It seems to be going up and down by 2 or 3 lately. I haven't heard any pop up in the list here. See what I mean? Whenever I go up in subs, I go down in subs. Google takes it away again, and then suddenly they come back again, and I don't know, it's quite crazy. I'm not sure. I don't think it's people unsubbing. I think it's Google unsubbing people. For some reason, they're trying to cripple our channel. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll just say good night for now. I've got a dash. And please like and share. Although it was a bit of a jumble today. But it was fun. Hopefully it was fun for you to watch and join in. Hopefully you learnt something as well, because I'm always learning stuff, and if I see something that interests me, like the snowflakes and how it looks like it was stamped out and man-made, that's interesting stuff, as well as linking it to other things in the future. So yeah, I'll just switch screens here and kick off the end credits and say good night and stop rambling. So yeah, it's a bit hard for me to see at the moment too. My left eye's getting more and more cloudy, and it needs operation, and yeah, it probably won't happen till middle of the year or end of the year now. So I've got my right eye only really. Is it playing music? Cool. Later, Mr. Boys. Weeze. I'm not sure you say that. Snipes. Clayton. Shelley. Who else is out there? We had 7 watching, that was pretty good. Pizza. Pizzagate. Yeah, you say all those keywords on Google and they punish you. So Clayton, we have to have you on live sometime. Show us your gadgets that you got or something that you're doing with them. Voice. Good night. Kiwi has shut down the studio.